Here's a song called Wonderful.
You are perfect in your own way. You are beautiful in your own way. Every day now, make it your day, 'cause it's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way. Life has chose you to express yourself just as you are, just as you are, without fear. Plant a new thought, watch it grow up in its own way. Life has chose you, life has chose you to express yourself just as you are. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. A one in a billion is what you are. That alone changed the world. I am grateful, I am grateful. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape. And if you don't know, Agape is Greek. It means unconditional love. The love of God operating through the human heart, according to Dr. Martin Luther King. And what a joy it is to be with you today, no matter where you're watching from, when you're watching this video, it's perfect. We're connecting at a different level to raise our vibration and to raise the vibration of the consciousness. So wherever you are, check in. Tell me where you're from. Say hello to people. Write your questions, your comments. Hit the like button. Hit the heart button. Make social media just go abuzz. And what I want to know is, what's on your mind? What's your concern? What is it you're seeking to get more of? You let me know that, and I can build in wisdom throughout the week and through the talks where we can explore together and go on this journey of life. Here's what I know that I'm knowing even more, is that there's always balance. I know I've been telling you, I've been listening to things on understanding women, understanding men, and I've been listening to people. And you know, as I listen, I see as much wisdom as I see not wisdom. I see as many things as I see not as many things as I like. And what that tells me is that I'm using me as the example, I get infatuated with things. But you know, if I'm patient and I wait a little while, I find the balance and the infatuation goes away. When the infatuation goes away, I can see life more clearly. So I say that to you because in everything, looking at a new car, we see a car we get infatuated with. No, be with it for a little while. Compare it with others. Find out if it's truly the thing you're looking for. Anything in life, there's always two sides. So check in, let me know you're there, and let's go in. Let's just calm ourselves down. So wherever you are, I invite you to come into a comfortable seated upright position with your back straight, your hands gently resting on your lap. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. Understanding and realizing at the depths of all you are that your breath brings life to the body, that your breath purifies the body, that your breath is actually light. It is life force moving in and through you. See yourself right now as light. See every cell of your body as light. And all of those trillions and trillions of light cells form a larger light that represents you. Now see your light joining with the light of everyone watching this talk. See your light joining with your family, with your friends. And notice the bigger the picture that you create, the brighter the light. And the light becomes so bright that we immerse into the allness, the wholeness, the infinite. And all we are is one massive expression of light. And yet we realize that we are an individualization of that light. That the light that we are is whole and perfect, just as it is. And we're free to shine it wherever we want. And where we shine that light, we experience. And our reason for being alive is to fully experience all that this life has to offer. And that excites us. It enthuses us because there's so much more we don't even know to experience. And yet, like little kids, we can't wait. So we've set a divine intention right here. We've established the truth. We are light beings. And we have bodies, and we have minds, and we have them to experience. And the world, the cosmos, it's our playground. What a great time to be alive. So with all this implanted, this truth brought forth, I invite you now to come back to this time, to this place, and gently, ever so gently, open your eyes, put a smile on your face, feel your body, move a little bit if you need to, and welcome back to life. Well, today, I'm going to continue my series on how to use the science of mind, and the title of today's talk is Activity of Right Ideas. And so I'm going to start where we start every week, and that is there is a creative power that is everywhere present. It is always responding to the nature of our thought, and we can consciously choose how we use that power. There is a creative power, and it's everywhere. Think about that. The creative power, it's everywhere, right where you are, right where everyone is, no matter where you go, there's this power, and it is always responding to your thought atmosphere, to the nature of your thought. And through where you direct that thought, how you create that thought atmosphere, you're telling the power, bring this into my experience. You see, while it's true that there is an infinite, and being an infinite, it's all that is. It's the seen, the unseen, the unknown, the known, and the unknowable. And while it's true that the nature of the infinite cannot change, it is equally certain that its activity can never cease to change. You see, there is nothing permanent but change. What the infinite does is it expresses its being in a particular moment. In other words, the infinite is forever shifting, shaping, becoming more, changing. It never expresses the same way. Why? Because it's infinite. It can express in infinite ways, and it's always doing it. And so what that really says is that change is eternal. Change is constant. And if this applies to the infinite, you and I, as individualizations of the infinite, it applies to us the same way. We, at the essence of all we are perfect, changeless, perfect expressions of light. But in our physical body, in our ego mind, we're forever changing. And it is our nature to change. So in every moment, we're a different person. In every moment, our body's not the same. Our body's already changed. Millions of cells die every minute, and millions of cells are replaced every minute. And so with that, our physical body, almost exactly once a year, changes and becomes a completely different body. There are a few bones, larger bones, that take longer for the cells to replace themselves. But a majority of our body changes. And guess what? We have the ability to control how it changes. You see, in life, every moment is fresh, new, and a spontaneous expression. And every moment should be considered as such. We should look at every moment as a new opportunity to express and experience life. You see, with this idea, with this knowledge in mind, we should be looking for new ideas and trust that new ideas will come to us by simply being open. Isn't it fascinating that when you open up to something, new wisdom comes? The other day, I was thinking about, believe it or not, vitamin C. Why? I was just focusing on health, and vitamin C came up in several of the videos and the readings that I was doing. And so what did I do? I looked up, what is the most effective vitamin C to take? How often should you take it? When should you take it? And all of a sudden, all this new information came to me that wouldn't have come to me hadn't I asked a more expansive question. Do you see what I said there? Asked a more expansive question. So let me ask you this. Are you asking limiting questions, or are you asking expansive questions? If you're asking yourself questions of yes or no, those are limiting questions. If you're asking yourself questions, how can I have a greater experience of life? What might I do to expand my vision? What might I do to learn more? Those are expansive questions. I believe the key to staying young is asking expansive questions. I believe the more we are learning and love learning, our mind stays sharp and young. You see, we talk about the law, and that is the law of cause and effect. That's the one law. You can call it the law of reciprocity, the law of giving and receiving, the law of attraction. You can call it whatever you want. There's one law. It's the law of cause and effect. And like all natural laws, it is neutral, impersonal. It is a creative force always operating mechanically and mathematically right now. What that means is that being impersonal means it's responding to everyone the same way. It doesn't judge what's being put into it. It creates whatever is given, and it applies to everyone. You know, this is really interesting because during the last political season, or I guess every season is political, people ask me, what are my political views? And I tell them this: I believe that every human being on the planet should be guaranteed equal opportunity. I believe that is the divine right of every human being, equal opportunity. However, I don't believe that you should guarantee everyone an equal result. I believe that the result is a direct result of how we use the law of cause and effect. And if someone is using the law of cause and effect more effectively, more clearly, more concisely, more deliberately, they're going to establish a result. Another person not using the law the same way is going to establish a different result. That's why I say the result that everyone experiences, it's not guaranteed to be equal. It depends on how they use the law. But the right to use the law, that should be guaranteed to everyone. You see, when we become aware and understand that we're always using this law, whether we're aware of it or not. This law is functioning 24/7, 365 eternally. You may say, well, for these 5 minutes, I'm going to go off. I'm not going to be conscious about it. I'm going to just go backwards. Well, the law picks that up and the law responds to that. It doesn't say what's right for Lee or what's wrong for Lee. It gives Lee what the predominant thought atmosphere that Lee is putting out there, with the feelings associated with it, with the actions associated with it, with the words associated with it. All of that forms my mental atmosphere, my beliefs, and the law takes it and says, yes, indeed, it is yours. You see, in the movie The Secret, they talked about just what are you thinking about? And you see, it's not that. It's your thoughts, words, actions, and your feelings that must be aligned. If you're not taking action in the direction of what you want, you're just wishing and hoping, nothing's going to change because you can't fool the law. You see, when we observe life and notice those things that are desirable, and when we notice the ones that are undesirable, we understand that there is an orderly procession of law of cause and effect coming into form. In other words, the law that brings us the things that we desire, that we find, oh my God, I love that, we realize, oh, they're the thoughts, words, actions, and feelings that produce that. And then when we experience something undesirable, oh, there are the thoughts, words, actions that produce that. And when we see that, we understand, we get a deeper understanding of how to use the law of cause and effect. So we actually are creating a scientific method. We try something, we observe it, we analyze the result, we try something new, we observe it, we analyze the result, and we're forever what? Changing. We're adapting, aren't we? We're adjusting. Isn't that what science does? I think that's why Ernest Holmes called this the science of the mind. We're always going to be testing hypotheses, always. And see, that's the great thing. Use the hypotheses of the law of cause and effect and try it on greater and greater and greater scales. You see, this infinite mind, being the only creative force in the universe, finds each individual, you and I, a new and fresh starting point for its creation. Did you get that? Infinite mind finds you and I a fresh and new starting point. Why? Because each of us is different. There's no two people on the planet. There have never been two people on the planet that have been the same. So each of us is fresh and new. And it's a brand new starting point to create. And this infinite power that's everywhere, it responds to us freely, easily, and effortlessly. You see, the way to work with this law is to know that infinite intelligence is operating through our consciousness, through our awareness of it, the picture we are painting, how we're talking about it, how we're feeling about it, how we're acting on it, who we're associating with. I'll bring that in. The people we associate with can have a positive impact on us or a negative impact on us. Think about that in your life. When you're around certain people, who do you feel good with? When you're around other people, who do you not feel good with? Who do you feel trusting with? Who do you not feel yourself trusting with? Are you trustable? Can you trust yourself? That's a really good place to start. Are you a person whose word means something? Because if you are, you become a real conscious creator. If you can't be trusted, you're not a conscious creator. You're creating by accident or default. You see, this is a fascinating way to look at this creative power. Because there's only one creative power, to it, there is no big or small. The entire universe is an infinite mind knowing itself to be what it is and manifesting itself in various and infinite variations of itself. So everything is created by this one power. Do you get that? So there is no big or small. You've got the quark, what we call one of the smallest things we know as humans. You've got the galaxy, the universe, which is beyond description. And one power creates it all. So think about this. You and I, as practitioners, we must never assume responsibility for healing or demonstrating something in our lives. You see, we must know that the power, the responsibility for the demonstration is the creative principle that we are using. We are using the law of cause and effect. It is infinite. There is nothing it cannot do. It can do everything and anything. And the power to do that depends on the level of our belief. Here's a key thing. Get like-minded people together and use that power together consciously and watch how the power grows. That's what I do every day when I have my morning meditation group at 7 a.m. We establish a oneness, a light. And we're establishing a light to bring peace and harmony and health and abundance and equality to the world. If you want to join us, you're welcome to. Just go to agapespiritualcenter.com. Click on the calendar and join us. Become a part of it. We join together as light to use the cause and effect to create a world that works for all of us. And a world that works for all of us is one that gives us equal opportunity. A world that works for all of us is where we all learn that there's the law of cause and effect. And then we learn not only that there is a law, but how do we use that law? And the best way to use that law is through spiritual mind treatment. And you see, a spiritual mind treatment is built around the concept of the limitlessness, around the concept of the infinite nature and ever-increasing flow of good to ourselves or whoever we're treating for. In other words, spiritual mind treatment is treating knowing there's no limits because of the infinite nature of who we are, what life is, and that the power over the cause and effect can do anything. And this is really key. It's not necessary for us to know how it will happen, but rather have a very clear picture about what is the end result we desire. We hold the end result. We hold the picture of the end result. We hold the emotion of the end result. We hold the words that describe the end result. We take the actions as if the end result was already in place. Guess what? We're living the end result. It's that simple. This is fascinating when you really think about it. You and I, as practitioners, we give the same spiritual mind treatment to every individual or ourselves, regardless of the activity and the result. And what we know is that the result will be different for everyone that we treat for. Why? Because they have to be open to experience it, and their perception will shift and shape the experience that they have. I can pray for someone for abundance or for health, but whatever they're willing to receive, whatever their mind can conceive and allow in, that's the demonstration. Our role, I believe our role in life is to continually create greater, bigger visions, and it's key to know that the law knows nothing about size. We're the only thing that limits us. Isn't that amazing? How big is the box that you can put your abundance in? Is it a small safe? Or is it a huge, infinite mansion filled with all the wealth that you could ever imagine? You see, the infinite mind is a mirror, automatically reflecting our images of thought, no matter what they are. See, the law of cause and effect, life, is always reflecting back to us. So we always know who we are because our life demonstrates it. We come back to the master teacher, Jesus, when he said 8 words that were the key to life. It is done unto us as we believe. Look at your life today. Ask, are my beliefs too small, knowing that I am an eternal light being? And if they are, create some new beliefs, because the power is in you. Let's pray. And when I say pray, I'm going to do a spiritual mind treatment. I'm treating the infinite mind that I am. I'm awakening it. And in this treatment, I know that there is only one. It is infinite. It is all-knowing. It is everywhere present. It is the seen, the unseen, the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. It's all powerful. It's all wise. It is everywhere present, right here and now, eternally. As such, I know that I and each of you out there are one with it. We are individualizations of this power, individualizations of this light, and that the wisdom of this power, the power to create, is right where we are. And what I treat for today is that there is an opening within our level of awareness that bursts within us a new vision, a bigger vision, a vision that is so magnificent that we can't wait to get up every day to live that vision and to watch that vision demonstrate in our lives and the lives of all those around us. We no longer play small. We no longer see our light as the light coming from a firefly, but rather we see our light as the light that comes from the sun. We embrace this new image of an all-powerful individualization that has the power to create life that has never been done before. And all we do is open up and grasp the new vision as it's brought forth, and to step into that new vision with our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings, and to know and believe that they will be made so. I claim and know this for myself. I claim and know this for each of you listening. And I fill myself with gratitude, because it is gratitude that I affirm this truth, know this truth, cement the activity of law by being grateful. And it's in gratitude that I can let it be. Let it go. Because I know it is made so, and so it is. Amen. Well, if you enjoy these messages each and every week, if you enjoy all of the things that Agape is bringing, morning meditations, thoughts every day, community gatherings, classes, and you want to support us as we bring this to more and more people, I highly invite you to click the link either in your Facebook or in your YouTube, or you can go to agapespiritualcenter.com and click the give and make a donation. Support us so that we can continue and expand how we bring this message to the world. I know there's so much that we can do to change, to cause change, to bring the opportunity to change. And if you would like to be a part of it, I invite you to join me and the rest of the Agape family by creating that vision together. I would love to invite you to join me every morning at 7 a.m. for meditation. Become a part of my meditation group. I'd love to have this group be hundreds and thousands of people coming together as light. And if you watch my thoughts in the morning, I invite you to please share them. But here's what I want to know. If you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, if you live in the Dallas Metroplex, next Sunday, June 20th, Father's Day, we'll be doing a live in-person service at the Cascades. All information can be found on the agapespiritualcenter.com website. Join us. Let's create a phenomenal gathering of like-minded people, and let's bring it together in one energy. And for those of you who are not in Dallas-Fort Worth, don't worry. I don't forget you. We'll be doing the same thing with you next week. We're continuing, no matter where you are, we're continuing on how to use the science of mind. The science of mind is the essence of all that we teach at Agape. And through the teaching of the science of mind, we learn a practical spirituality that empowers us to better self-love and to live consciously. I promise you, if you embrace this and begin and take this journey with me and the others, you will live an extraordinary life. With that in mind, knowing that love means to accept, I want you to know that I love you and I accept you just like you are. We'll see you next time. Aloha.